Hi, I'm Sue from Garden Moxie. Welcome to my garden. So this is going to be the first walk around for the 2024 garden season. I'm so excited that the garden season has started, and I'm excited to share just what the garden looks like. It's definitely not perfect. There's going to be lots of things to do this season. But the thing I am the most excited about to share first thing is this little area that I planted here last spring. And this is my native woodland border. So these were all planted as tiny little baby seedlings. Let me turn the camera around and I can show you what plants we have here. Everything is growing great. So I've planted some great native plants in here. We've got some Canadian anemones, and these plants are filling out wonderfully. I've also got some native cranesbill. So these are basically wild geraniums. They bloom in the springtime. They will fill out this whole area. They already have like doubled, tripled in size already for this season. I do have some regular heuchera scattered throughout the area, but this is a native heuchera here. I've never grown this plant before. It has just started to get a bud, and I'm super excited to see what this plant looks like. I'll tell you that the foliage is looking great. It's very healthy. The plants all came back this season really, really well. I did plant a few of the hellebore seedlings that I got from another area of the garden. We do have some astilbe. That's not a native plant here. My favorite plant here is this white flowering turtlehead. Again, this is a native plant. This will fill up this whole area. There's nothing quite like a new gardening season, is there? For me, springtime is the most delightful, exciting time. Those first little sprouts peeking through the earth, it's like a little miracle, I'd say. It's enough to make an old gardener's heart just go pitter-patter. I love to walk around the spring garden to find all the new plants and bulbs that are growing. The garden changes so much in a short period of time. And this season, I'm focused on getting back to the basics. I'm at the point where I'm hardening off some of the cool season flowers that I planted from seed, like these foxgloves. I'm excited to get these seedlings out into the garden. This particular variety of foxglove will bloom its first season. I'm amazed at how well they're growing. I started these specific seedlings back on March 10th. I won't start planting seedlings into the garden until the end of May, but now is the perfect time to split perennials and start really thinking about where things are going to be planted. I've been trying to make sure that I get outside every day here to soak up all that spring has to offer. Spring moves so fast in this area, and if you don't get outside and pay attention, you're liable to miss the whole thing. The thing that I specifically want to see are all the spring blooming bulbs and the spring blooming trees. In the front garden, we have this great pink flowering dogwood that came with the house. I love that tree. And along the front, we're starting to see all the grasses poking their heads up. We've got the Japanese forest grass starting to come through the soil. And then some of the silver sage is starting to grow. I planted these seedlings last season. And as we walk here along the side yard into the backyard, there's so much to see at the beginning of April. We had all of the daffodils, and one of my favorites is this daffodil called Golden Echo. I was sure to make sure that we picked lots of flowers and made lots of bouquets. And one of the people that enjoys this the most is my mom when she comes over to visit. It's always a fun activity. And my mom joined my seed growing challenge this season as well. So we got to spend a lot of time just planting up the seedlings and really getting to appreciate watching all the plants grow. I think this is probably one of my favorite seasons because I got to share it with my mom. We were both amazed at how many stories we remembered from my grandma's garden. My main objective this garden season is to actually slow down. I mean, I'm going to be doing projects and working hard, but I'm also making time to enjoy actually being in the garden. I love to watch all the little critters that call my garden their home. And I'm always amazed at how many visitors we have, especially since we added a fountain and a bird bath in our garden. That bird bath has become an important watering hole. Every spring I always get a kick out of watching where the robins build their nest. And this spring, the robins are building a nest in the climbing hydrangea. This is typically one of their favorite places to build a nest. And if you keep your eyes peeled, you can always see the lookout robin. The robins are definitely one of my favorite birds, and I love to see them just flying around the garden, and they make the greatest bird song. So along the side yard this time of the year at the beginning of May, you can start to see all of the forget-me-nots and all of the allium bulbs. I like to walk along this area just to see how many buds of alliums I actually have in bloom. And I'm amazed that the hellebores have really been lasting this season. Here's a look at all of the allium bulbs, and pretty soon these are going to be just beautiful bulbs of purple, and I can't wait to see them. The garden is really starting to perk up and all the leaves are coming out. I've got little different tulips. This one is one of my favorites that I planted this season. It's called Ballerina. And we've been getting a great rain in the garden. It's just a gentle rain and all of the bulbs are still able to bloom. The anemones are still out, although they're starting to fade now that it's May. And then we've also got the blooms on the variegated Solomon seal. Here's a great view of the gentle rains that we've been getting this springtime. This is the perfect garden rain, and I love these kinds of days. You can just listen to the raindrops and just enjoy looking out the window. And the garden is soaking up all of that great water. Spring in my area is definitely a season to pay attention to. Here's a view of the garden at the beginning of April. And within a couple short weeks, the old leaves dropped off the hornbeam trees and the new spring leaves started leafing out. The changes in the garden this time of year happen so quickly. That's why I'm focused on spending time observing what's growing. Hey, you know what? In our fast-paced, constantly connected world, our gardens serve as a much-needed escape, a place where we can find some peace and quiet. Nature is incredibly resilient, and I'm so grateful for this little patch of land. And when you pay attention, you get to see some amazing things. Well, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Anywhere, feel like